Stress when we are dealing with a new deadline at work, a fight with our partner, or that friend who's expecting a really good gift. We all know what it feels like to be in a position where you have more on your plate than you feel that you can manage. Today we're going to be talking about what's good stress, what's bad stress, what it looks like in your body, and most importantly, how to deal with it. Hi, my name is Stephanie Yates Anyabuile. I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist and a mental health and relational wellness content creator right here on YouTube. So the big question is, why am I experiencing stress? And also, what does that look like in my body? Stress is actually directly correlated with the hormone called cortisol. And we see an increase in cortisol whenever people are dealing with new situations, having to adjust, and typically when you're coming to me as a therapist telling me that you're feeling overwhelmed. Cortisol is a stress hormone that is released by the adrenal glands whenever we are presented with a distressing situation. Our typical reactions are very primitive, and it tells us when it's time to fight, flee, or freeze. And even though cortisol does serve a really productive and useful role for us, it can be disastrous and destructive when we are releasing those hormones for too extended a period of time. So let's talk a little bit about the difference between good stress and bad stress. In therapy, we refer to the good stress as eustress and the bad stress as distress. We're all familiar with distress. It's the one that we talk about the most colloquially and in popular culture. De-stress, most of us are familiar with. That is the term that lets us know that we're in a period of disequilibrium. We're feeling frustrated and overwhelmed with whatever life situations are happening to us. Distress is usually marked by things like a breakup, maybe you've been fired from a job, maybe you're dealing with the loss of something or someone important. Those are times of de-stress. Eustress is something that happens whenever we're presented with a new circumstance, but it could be something that is actually benign or positive. So maybe you're starting your dream job. There are going to be stresses that come along with that, but it is eustress. Or even if you are moving into the next level with your fitness and you're taking on a lot more, let's say, weightlifting. That could be physical stress on your body, but it is positive stress. So there are forms of stress that could be really good for you. So the first thing you want to make sure that you do is identify whether the stress you're dealing with has positive benefits or if it's something that seems to be presenting predominantly negatively. So you might be like, okay, I know what stress is. I know how I experience stress in my body. What do I do about it? And we've got you there with some tips. First, laughter. Sometimes you just need a laugh break. Whether you're looking for cat memes or if you're just looking at your favorite comedian on Instagram, finding a way to bring a little joy into your day, even if it feels like you don't have the time, could be really effective in the long run to help your body regulate and balance your hormones. Exercise. When you are able to increase your endorphins, that's a great way to combat your stress hormones. So focusing on making sure your body's getting some form of movement. It doesn't have to be an hour-long run, anything crazy, but even 5 to 10 minutes of physical activity has been shown to be able to help your hormones balance. So focusing on getting a little exercise could be a great way for you to quickly address some stress triggers. Start to identify signs that you are having stressful thought patterns. If you allow yourself to move down a rabbit hole with stressful thoughts, let's say you start a bunch of what if thinking, that it could lead you into a place where you're really overwhelmed because of all of the uncertainty of the future. Focus on what's within your control now instead of obsessing about what's coming next or what's already past. So if you are dealing with stressful thoughts, try to stop them in their wake and pay close attention. Surprisingly, we're in a space where we're really stressed out. Another thing that we can really change is our breathing pattern. You'll notice sometimes when you're really tense, you're actually holding your breath. And this can prevent our bodies from regulating. We're creating a sense of tension within our bodies. So by being very intentional in your breathing, maybe counting it out, breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth, or even the inverse, focusing on maybe having some calming music going, things that can help you really take the time you need to breathe again is another great and very effective technique for dealing with stress in the moment. You want to make sure you prioritize your sleep. Sometimes when we're in a space, when we're really overwhelmed and stressed out, sleep is the first thing to go. We'll say, I'm gonna stay up a little bit later so I can get this done, or I'm gonna wake up earlier, I'm gonna skip this nap or this break. And sometimes that realistically is the only way to get through the stress. But when we're able to make sure that we have at least 8 hours of sleep, it can help our bodies regulate and deal with the cortisol hormones that our body is secreting during times of distress or even eustress. One of the top things that we overlook when we're stressed out is paying attention to the nutritional content in the food that we eat. I know for myself, when I get stressed, sometimes the first thing I want to do is eat a donut. But that's not really putting my best foot forward to help my body take care of those hormones that are being secreted that could actually get in the way of me getting the tasks done that are making me stressed out. So focusing on ingesting nutritious foods could be another wonderful way to take care of yourself when you're feeling overwhelmed. Make sure that you are focusing on maintaining healthy relationships. Sometimes the thing you need in that moment is that one friend who you can call up who always gets it. When we're able to dedicate time to the friends that are there to support us, the ones that don't make us anxious, that don't stress us out themselves, we're able to build on connections that help us ride out those stress waves as they come and go. And it's really important too to make sure you're providing your friends with the same concern when they're in a stressful situation. A marker of a healthy relationship is reciprocity. So make sure that when you're not in your stressful moment and your friend is, that you're providing them with the support that you'll need when it's your moment. I feel like we're becoming more and more aware of the benefits of having pets. I don't think I've had so many requests for emotional support forms. If you have a dog, cat, bird, any sort of pet that helps to ease your anxiety, highly recommend just giving them a pet, bringing them with you, even asking your boss. I've seen it where people have brought their pet to work. If your boss also knows the benefits of having a pet around, they might actually let you bring them in for a day. So see what your options are for incorporating your pet more into your life, maybe even just increasing walks with them, maybe getting another pet if that won't add too much new stress onto you. That could be a wonderful way for you to deal with some of the stress that's coming your way. Spirituality is another excellent way to deal with stress. Some people find solace going to church. Some people find solace in meditating. Find your thing that helps you feel spiritually connected, where your stress doesn't feel like something that has no purpose. When we're able to connect our stress to our bigger purpose in life, it makes it a lot easier to navigate and to understand. We can acknowledge that maybe there's something bigger than us, or if we can acknowledge why we're going through the stress. Let's say if you want to have children and you're dealing with the stress of infertility, for example. If you remember that big picture goal, this could be the thing that helps you get through the really critical, stressful moments of that journey. And lastly, most importantly, cultivate a good relationship with yourself. When you're already dealing with so much stress and chaos in your life, the last thing you need on top of that are negative, critical thoughts and things that you're saying to yourself and about yourself. Saying things like, I'm lazy, I'll never get this done, I don't know why I was chosen for this. Those are all talk tracks that can make it 10 times harder for you to see this thing through. So practice affirmations. Remind yourself about why you were chosen for this task. Remind yourself of times you've gotten through hard situations in the past. Speak life into yourself and make sure that whenever you are in a really rough place, that you provide yourself with a soft place to land. I know talking about stress is a lot and dealing with it is even worse. Let's take a breath together. One more. You've got this. So let's wrap this up. In summary, remember that not all stress is bad stress. Dealing with distress can definitely increase your cortisol levels, and there are physiological signs that should let you know when we really need to make an intervention to deal with it. But sometimes we're dealing with good stress. That eustress of a new job, even a new pet, any new adventure that is temporary is not always a bad thing. Sometimes it gives us exactly what we need to be motivated and to be successful and productive. Please like this video if you found it helpful, and remember to subscribe to Healthline for more content like this. Thanks for watching.